Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, and welcome to Command Power, the show in which we discuss all things Magic the Gathering with a focus on Commander. And today we have another episode in our Spoiler Spotlight series in which I talk about, well, spoilers and tell you what my thoughts are on them. But before that, just a quick reminder to click subscribe if you enjoy my videos. We're well on our way to 1 million subscribers and your support means everything to me. And today we're going to be talking about Witch King's Sky Scourge. For 5 colors, 1 black and 1 red, it's a legendary creature, Wraith Noble 5/5 with flying, and whenever you attack with 1 or more wraiths, exile the top X cards of your library, where X is their total power. You may play those cards this turn. And Undying. When this creature dies, if it had no +1/+1 counters on it, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control with a +1/+1 counter on it. So this is super cool. As soon as I saw this card spoiled, I was like, wow, I want this for my Wraith decks. The problem is anyone else with a Wraith deck, or at least one that's running red, is going to want this too, so expect this card to be very pricey. It is also very pricey when it comes to mana. 7 mana is a lot to pay for your commander, even though this commander is incredibly impactful and comes with built-in protection, which means that it's going to survive most things that don't exile. That is huge because it does feel very bad to tap 7 mana for your commander and then have it suddenly eat a removal spell. However, it is still susceptible to getting exiled, but destroy removal is generally more commonly seen in commander than exile removal, so you should be able to have it survive sometimes. Moving on to the actual abilities, it's incredible when you're playing it with a bunch of wraiths. This also makes me wonder if we're going to see a spike in the Nazgul because they were already trending down a little bit after being so expensive, but with something like this spoiled, they might just bump right back up, seeing as this just makes them very, very strong. There is a legitimate concern with this, and that is that you might actually mill yourself in a couple of turns. If you have a decent Nazgul board where you have just a couple of Nazgul and they're each at 4 or 5 counters, then when you attack with the Wraiths, you're going to be exiling like 15 to 20 cards from your library. That's actually a lot, and you can only do that a couple of times in the game before you actually run out of cards in library. So in that sense, it's a weird kind of card where you don't want to have too much of an advantage on board, or you don't want your Nazgul to be too big. It kind of catches you up a little bit more than pushes you ahead. When you've got medium-sized to small Nazgul, this is actually quite good because you're going to exile a few cards in the top of your library and be able to play one of them, which should usually mean you hit something good. So it kind of creates a weird dynamic where you want to grow your Nazgul very big so you can swing for a lot of damage, but at the same time you don't want to have this out when that happens because they might just end up milling you in a couple of turns. Particularly since it isn't a May ability, you're going to have to exile those cards from the top of your library, and you can only play them this turn as well. They don't just stick around forever. So I do think there is a little bit downside to this in that sense. It's probably not going to be the strongest card in the world. It does, I think, fit a good niche in those kind of Nazgul decks though, and getting card advantage in black-red is always very welcome. Not to mention, of course, that the coolness is also a factor, and this is one of the coolest arts I've ever seen, and it's just so metal and so amazing. I'm definitely going to look to pick one up if it's not too expensive. So there you have it. Those have been my thoughts on this new spoiler. What do you think about this card? Please let me know in the comment section below. I read all comments and respond to all of them too. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to click like or subscribe. It really helps the channel. And until next time, take care. Woo!